My parents kicked me out over my sister's missing bracelet. Year later, I got the family inheritance. They suddenly wanted to make amends. I'm 25. Growing up in our middle-class suburban home, we looked like the perfect family from the outside: mom, dad, and 2 daughters living the American dream. But beneath that picture-perfect facade lay a reality only those closest to us could see: my parents' clear favoritism toward my younger sister Emma. It wasn't always this way. In our early years, both Emma and I basked equally in our parents' love and attention. We took the same piano lessons, art classes, and gymnastics. Our achievements were celebrated equally, and their pride in us felt genuine and unconditional. But everything changed when I hit 6th grade. One bad test score, not even an important one, was all it took to shift my parents' perception of me. Suddenly, my mother's proud smile became reserved for Emma's perfect grades, while my accomplishments were met with obligatory nods. The change was subtle at first, but impossible to ignore as time went on. Every mistake I made, no matter how minor, became a mark against my character. Meanwhile, Emma's missteps were brushed off with understanding. "She's just having an off day." The phrase that haunted my teenage years became, "Why can't you be more like Emma?" As we grew older, the divide deepened. Emma blossomed into everything my parents wanted: class president, homecoming queen, the girl everyone adored. I turned inward, focusing on my studies and excelling in my own quiet way. But it was never enough to compete with Emma's golden glow. Eventually, I stopped trying. Despite everything, I tried maintaining a relationship with Emma. She was still my sister, and I loved her. But her growing sense of entitlement made it increasingly difficult. She seemed to relish being the favorite, knowing she could do no wrong. It wasn't just our parents, teachers, friends, even strangers were captivated by her charm. She was the sun, and I was perpetually in her shadow. The real turning point came after my high school graduation. I'd earned a partial scholarship to college and was excited to start fresh. I thought maybe some distance would improve my relationship with my parents. I couldn't have been more wrong. Around this time, Emma started dating Jake, the stereotypical high school quarterback from a wealthy family. My parents treated him like the son they never had, cooking elaborate meals every weekend just to impress him. They were already planning Emma and Jake's perfect future wedding and grandchildren while I struggled through my first semester of college, working part-time to cover expenses my scholarship didn't. When I'd come home on breaks, exhausted from juggling work and studies, all I'd hear about was Emma and Jake's latest adventure or Emma's academic success. No one asked about my life or how I was managing. Instead, they'd make snide remarks about why I couldn't find someone like Jake. Then came the accusation that would shatter what remained of our family dynamic. During a college break, I came home for a visit. Everything seemed normal until Emma's gold charm bracelet, a gift from Jake, went missing. "My bracelet. It's gone," she wailed. "And I know who took it." My father's head snapped up. "What do you mean?" "I saw her looking at it yesterday," Emma pointed at me, her voice trembling. "She's always been jealous of my things." "That's ridiculous," I protested, feeling my face flush. "I didn't touch your bracelet." My mother stepped forward, her expression cold. "Then why were you in her room?" "I wasn't. I haven't even been near her room." "Don't lie to us," my father's voice boomed. "We've noticed things missing before. Small things." We didn't want to believe it, but... "You're choosing to believe this?" I looked between them in disbelief. "After everything, you really think I'd steal from my own sister?" "Either return the bracelet," my father said firmly, "or get out. We won't have a thief in this house." With no way to prove my innocence and their minds already made up, I chose to leave. I packed my bags and walked away from my family that day, cutting all ties. The years that followed were tough. Without family support, I had to figure everything out alone. I juggled full-time studies with multiple jobs, barely scraping by. Meanwhile, through mutual friends, I heard Emma was thriving, still with Jake and working at a cushy marketing firm thanks to our father's connections. They remained the perfect family, minus one black sheep. 5 years passed before I heard from them again. During that time, my only family contact was my grandmother, who occasionally sent birthday cards and checked in via text. She never pushed me to reconcile with my parents or took sides. So when she invited me to Christmas dinner, I was surprised but decided to attend. Walking into that dinner felt like stepping into a time machine. My parents, Emma, Jake, and various relatives were there, creating an almost suffocating tension. My parents' greeting was stiff, and Emma acted as if nothing had ever happened between us. They clearly expected me to play along with their perfect family charade. The evening's dynamic shifted dramatically when my grandmother started distributing gifts. Opening my box, I found myself holding our family's most precious heirloom, a gold locket passed down through generations. This wasn't just jewelry, it symbolized being the heir to the family's entire estate. My grandmother had bypassed my father and Emma to give it directly to me. I watched my parents' faces pale as they realized the implications. Emma, the eternal golden child, sat in stunned silence. My parents quickly shifted gears, plastering on fake smiles and pulling me aside. Suddenly, they were apologetic, talking about Emma's upcoming wedding and the importance of family unity. Family? I knew better. This wasn't about reconciliation, it was about money. My father's tone carried a warning as he mentioned they were willing to forgive me for everything. They had somehow twisted the narrative to make themselves the wronged party. Other relatives joined in, pressuring me with clichés about family bonds and the importance of staying connected. After the party, I retreated to my apartment to process everything. My parents and Emma's attempts to reconnect felt relentless, but their intentions were transparent. They wanted access to the family assets now tied to my heirloom. Their behavior only reinforced my desire to maintain distance. I needed clarity, so I arranged a private conversation with my grandmother. When I asked her about her decision, she revealed she'd been watching everything unfold for years. She'd seen how the family had treated me, witnessed my struggles through college while Emma got everything handed to her, and observed how I'd built my life from nothing after being cast out. She explained that she hadn't interfered earlier because she believed people needed to learn from their own choices. But watching how I'd handled adversity, working multiple jobs, finishing school, and building a career without family support, convinced her I was the right person to inherit the family estate. She had already updated her will accordingly. The validation felt bittersweet. Finally, someone had seen the truth, but it also complicated everything. My parents and Emma wouldn't give up easily, now that they knew what was at stake. True to form, they launched a full-scale campaign to force their way back into my life. They showed up unannounced at my apartment, creating a scene in front of my neighbors. My mother fell to her knees, begging forgiveness while my father blocked the doorway. Emma stood by, smirking, as if certain their pressure would eventually break me. The situation became so hostile that security had to threaten calling the police before they'd leave. Emma took it further, mass texting my friends to paint me as the villain who'd abandoned our family. She conveniently left out the part where they'd thrown me out over a false accusation. I had to explain the whole painful history to defend myself. The truth finally came out when my grandmother confronted the extended family. My parents had been spreading lies, claiming they'd actually found the missing bracelet in my drawer, a complete fabrication. The revelation sparked a cascade of family secrets. My father's second mortgage to fund Emma's extravagant wedding plans, her bridezilla behavior, and finally, Jake leaving her after realizing the promised family wealth might not materialize. As everything unraveled, relatives who judged me based on my parents' lies started apologizing. But their sudden change of heart felt hollow. If they'd turned on me so easily before, what would stop them from doing it again? My parents reached out one final time, their tone apologetic but still focused on the inheritance rather than genuine reconciliation. I've chosen to maintain my distance. This experience has shown me just how toxic my family dynamic truly is. And I'm not ready to open that door again, even if they come bearing apologies. For now, I'm focusing on building my future on my own terms, free from their manipulation and lies. Sometimes the family you're born into isn't the family you need, and that's okay. The inheritance my grandmother entrusted to me isn't just about money, it's about recognizing truth and character when everyone else chose blindness and convenience. While I never sought this role, I'm determined to honor her faith in me by continuing to live authentically, regardless of my family's attempts to pull me back into their web of manipulation.